Hey, welcome everybody. A very pleasant morning to all of you. How are you all? I hope you all must be great. Am I right? Okay, so today we are going to cover the rest part of our very first chapter, the third level. I hope you would have seen the first video of the same chapter which I have sent you on Monday. Okay, so till today what we have covered in the chapter is this is the third level. Actually third level is what? Third level is a way of our hero protagonist Charlie to escape from the present day's harsh realities. He want to escape from today's anxiety, fear. He want to have a refuge from all this. So that is why he doesn't want to face the reality, and he just have his own fantasy of this third level. Actually third level does not exist. Okay, so what we have seen that our hero protagonist is Charlie. He was 31 years old. He was an ordinary man. One day he was late for his home, so he decided to take a train from subway. Subway means underground. Okay, so underground ways are called subways. So he decided to take a train from there, and he has entered the Grand Central Station. Grand Central Station, whenever he entered the Grand Central Station, he gets confused because Grand Central Station is very huge, very crowded. It has so many exits. So every time whenever he used to enter Grand Central Station, he gets confused and he comes out and on some another wrong destination. So this time also, though he did not come to the wrong destination, but he entered the first level, then he entered the second level. These levels are the kind of floors, you can say. Okay, subway, underground ways, and the station, the Grand Central Station was underground, and it was having floors. So the first floor, second floor, and there was no third level. So these floors are considered as level, first level, second level. But what happened, because he kept on imagining about the third level, so one day he entered that third level in his own fantasies. Okay, he entered that level and he noticed some of the changes over there. He found the things very strange there. What strange things he found over there? He found that it is of a very old kind of level, where the windows are smaller, and all the gates, doors are made up of wood. Okay, and there were gas lights, open flame gas lights, and people, they were wearing strange clothes. Okay, and he was having a hobby also. That hobby was of stamp collection. He was having a psychiatrist friend. His name was Sam. So one time he discussed that thing of third level with his friend Sam, who was a psychiatrist. But he said that it is completely your waking dream wish fulfillment. Waking dream wish fulfillment means when you keep on when you think about something which is very pleasant, but actually it does not exist. Okay, so then he says that you want to escape from the reality. That is why you think of the third level. So till here we have covered. Now let us move to the rest part, and let's see the hero Charlie. He is giving the description of the third level. Let's see. So till here we have covered. Okay, let me show you third level, page number 3 we had done in our previous video. If you have not seen, please go through it, and then we are covering from page number 4 today. Okay, so further he is describing the third level. I told you that our hero, he has already entered the third level, and now further he is describing the third level, that how does it appears. Okay, how does it appear, the third level? There were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 80, 90 something. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, and fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg off mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high buttoned shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive, a very small Courier and Eves locomotive with a funnel shaped stack, and then I knew. Okay, so there in the very first line you can see brass spittoons. Spittoons means a kind of a pot, earthenware pot, typically having a funnel shaped top, and it is used for spitting into. Okay, so that is called spittoon. Okay, now what's happening here? Our hero Charlie, he could see brass spittoons everywhere when suddenly a glimpse of light caught his eye and he saw a man pulling his gold watch from the vest. Vest means it is a kind of a garment worn on the upper part of the body, na? That is called vest. Okay, men, they wear it, vest. Fine. Then he had he observed that man and he found that he was dressed in an old fashioned style attire. Suddenly he noticed that everyone was dressed like the 19th century. Okay, it was basically the time before deadly wars. So after 1800, if it is 1805 or 1806, so then it is called 19th century. Okay, so it was a time when wars were not there. So many beards and fancy mustaches were all around our hero, something that he had never seen before. Okay, he even saw a very small Courier and Ives locomotive, which made him sure about which time he is in. So this Courier and Ives locomotive is a train. What is it? It is a train engine. This is the name of the engine. Name. It is a powered railway vehicle used for pulling trains. Okay. So he found that people, they were very old. They were dressed in a very old fashion. Okay, and he found that people having very weird, different, strange kind of mustaches, so many fancy mustaches, and he observed them very carefully. And when he saw that locomotive now, so he was very sure that yes, this I am in somewhere 19th centuries, in 1890s somewhere. Okay, so to make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. You can see here the newspaper. It is very important. Most of the time this question comes, what is the world? And you write, the students, they write wrong answers. So you should be careful. The world is the name of the newspaper. Okay. So what happened? To make sure, what he was making sure? He was just validating his suspicion. To make sure that whether he is in 1890s or he is in the present. To make this thing sure, he walked over to a newsboy. Newsboy means a boy who was selling newspapers, and glanced at the stack of paper at his feet. So stack means pile. Okay, so he glanced over there at the pile of the newspaper. It was the World, and the World hasn't been published for years. So which newspaper was there nearby that newsboy? The World. It is the name of the newspaper. Again I am repeating, the World, and the World hasn't been published for years. And now whatever the present date it is, the World never it's been stopped publishing for many years. Now it doesn't publish. The World does not publish now. Okay, so the lead story said something about President Cleveland, And what was there in the lead story, the main headline of the newspaper of that day? That it was about President Cleveland. Cleveland, he was the president of America at the time. I have found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. And what was the date mentioned over there in that? It was June 11, 1894. So he was very much sure now. Okay, so what's happening in this para? To validate his suspicion, he went over to the newspaper boy who was selling The World. The newspaper's name, The World, which was discontinued years ago. Okay, and there were some headlines about the then President Cleveland, and the date on the front page was June 11, 1894. So now he was sure about what? That he is in 1800s. Okay, he is in 19th century. He was very much sure about it. Okay, now let's see. I turned toward the ticket window, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the year 1894. And I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Okay, so finally he decided. What he decided? Immediately he went to the ticket window to get the tickets for Galesburg, Illinois for him and his wife Louisa. And why he wanted to go over there? Because he always used to dream about Galesburg, Illinois. He thinks that he had a perception about this place, that it is a very wonderful place. Okay, so he thought that it is a golden opportunity for me to buy a ticket and to move to the Galesburg, Illinois. So he moved to the ticket counter immediately. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around, in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future, I wanted 2 tickets for that. See, this place seems to be really very beautiful. The way the writer has described, our hero has described this place, Galesburg, it seems very interesting. Okay, so he was well aware that from here one could buy tickets that would take them anywhere in the United States. He describes how things were in 1984 before the 2 world wars took place. Okay, he said that evenings were twice as long as they are now, and men and women living in peace and serenity. And what also he said, he is giving description of the place Galesburg. He said, have you ever been there? He's asking, putting up a question to the readers, that have you ever been to Galesburg, Illinois? It's a wonderful town. Further, he is describing that it is a wonderful town. The houses, they were having big old frame. They were having huge lawns. Tremendous trees are there whose branches meet overhead. Overhead means they make a roof-like structure. Okay, and in 1894, summer evening were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns. I'm very sorry, I have pronounced 1984 I think earlier. It is 1894. Okay, so excuse me. Then summer evenings were twice as long, and he said that people, the men, they used to smoke cigars in the evening, sitting out on their lawns, and they talk very quietly. And the women, they wave palm leaf fans. You would have seen the Chinese ladies having those fans, that sort of, with the fireflies, and everywhere along, all around there were fireflies. And it is a wonderful world. Why it's a wonderful world? Because in 1890, when the First World War took place? Can you tell me when First World War? Yes, 1914. Okay, so he said that still the First World War was 20 years off, means 20 years, still 20 years are there for the First World War to be started. So that's why there is no anxiety of war, there is no fear. People they do not know what is war, what is fear, what is depression, and they live a very peaceful and very happy life. So that's why he wanted to go over to Galesburg, Illinois, to live a peaceful life with his wife Louisa. Okay, now see, the clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my fancy headband, but he figured the fare, and I had enough for 2 coach tickets. One way, okay. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. "That ain't money, mister," he said. "And if you're trying to skin me, you won't get very far." And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. Of course, the money was old-style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays, and different looking. I turned away and got out fast. There's nothing nice about jail even in 1894. So, what is happening in this paragraph? The clerk who was there at the ticket counter, who was dealing with the cash, giving tickets. So, as the clerk calculated the fare, he looked at Charlie's fancy headband. The hat he was wearing now, there was a band in that, and it was very fancy. So he looked at that headband in a strange manner. Why he looked at it in a strange manner? Because they all were wearing strange clothes, and Charlie, he was wearing strange clothes. Okay, because Charlie, he was wearing the modern day clothes of 1900s, and they were wearing the old fashioned clothes. That's why he found him little bit different from themselves. So that is why he looked at his fancy headband. Okay, Charlie just had enough money for one-sided journey. Okay, just as he took out money, the clerk informed that this is not the acceptable money, and by any chance, if he tried to be smart, he won't be able to get away with it. See what happened. Charlie was having present day currency. He was having the modern day currency. He was not having that 1894 currency with him. So when he calculated the amount, he found that okay, I am having enough amount to buy 2 tickets for one way. Means he and his wife Louisa can go to Galesburg, Illinois. They cannot return because he was not having money for returning, but yes, they can go over there. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. And when he gave the money to the clerk, clerk started looking, gazing at him, staring at him. He nodded at the bills. Nodded means moving head movements without speaking anything, okay? And he was very angry and he said, "Mister, this is not the money. It's not money. What are you giving me?" He said, "And if you are trying to skin me, you won't get very far." He said, skin me means if you are trying to be over smart, if you are trying to make me fool, then mister, let me tell you that you will not escape. You cannot escape, okay? I'll put you behind the bars. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him, and then he started looking at the cash drawer. Of course, the money was old style bills, and what he noticed, he glanced at his cash drawer and realized that currency used back then was different and almost double the size. It was very big, huge in size, okay? And he ran out. Who ran out? Our hero, Charlie. He ran out because he thought that jails, they were not nice in 1894 also. Jails, they were not nice in present day also, and he found that jails, they are not nice today also, and jails, they were not nice in that past at the time in 1894 also. Fine. So to save himself, he ran from there. And that was that. I left the same way I came. I suppose next day during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had, and bought old style currency that really worried my psychiatrist friend. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills, but I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. Okay. The day ended after he came out. After he ran from there, the day ended. The next day, during lunch hour, at the time of lunch, he went to withdraw his entire savings. He decided that मैं अपना whatever I have saved till now, I'm going to withdraw everything, okay, and got them converted into old money. This old money, because he wanted to go to Galesburg, Illinois, from third level. He was having that wish, that desire to go to visit that place, Galesburg, Illinois. So what he did, he decided, he went to the he went to withdraw his entire savings, and he decided to convert them into the old currency. And what was you can see here, you can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. Premium means that you will give the more amount, and you will get in return the less amount. Suppose if I am giving 500 rupees, so in old currency I will get 300 rupees only, okay. In the place of 500, I will get in return only 300s. Fine. So he decided to convert his money by paying some amount of premium. It cost him much and even worried his psychiatrist friend. Okay, his psychiatrist friend, he was worried about him, that why he is doing so, why he is paying, withdrawing all his savings, and means why he is paying so much of premium for that old currency. So he was also worried, but he still went with it. Who? Charlie. Back then eggs cost 13 cents a dozen, and what excuse he has given, that eggs are also very costly nowadays, okay. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. So this is the excuse he has given. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station, although I have tried often enough. Now see, he has converted the money, the present day currency, into old day currency. Okay, he was all set to go to Galesburg, Illinois, but there is a trouble. There is a problem. What is that problem? The problem occurred here that he never found that corridor that leads to the third level. He is searching for the third level at the Grand Central Station like anything, like mad people, but he is not getting it now. गायब हो गया है वो. Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this. Now he had a talk with his wife, and she was very worried and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. And she want her husband to stop looking for the third level, as third level does not exist. Okay, so his wife, she is also very much worried, and she want him to stop his search to look after that third level anymore. Okay, I went back to my stamps, but now we were both looking every weekend, because now we have proof that the third level is still there. My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected, because Sam's a city boy and I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there, and he always said he liked the sound of the place, and that's where he is. All right, in 1894. Okay, so what is happening here? His kept on searching for the third level, but unfortunately he could never find the way to the third level corridor again. His wife Louisa was pretty worried when she got to know about it all. After a while, he went back to finding distractions with the help of stamps. So he again moved back to his stamp collection hobbies just to distract himself from all this. So somehow Sam, his psychiatrist friend, disappeared. He was not in touch with him. There was no news about him. He was disappeared. So Charlie suspected that Sam, he had gone to Galesburg. Okay, and he finds himself in the time space of 1894. And how he suspected that his friend he has gone to Galesburg? Because he said that I used to tell him about Galesburg, because Charlie he used to talk with Sam about Galesburg, that I went to school there, and he always said that he liked the sound of the place, and that's where he is. And Sam, he also showed his liking towards Galesburg, and now Charlie is suspecting that Sam, he must be there in Galesburg. Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some. And use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of sale, and the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. Okay, so now what happened? One night, Charlie, he came across a first day cover. Further, they have described what is first day cover. So what is first day cover? First day cover is an envelope, okay, with a stamp on it. That stamp collectors mail to themselves on the first day of its sale to mark the date. Actually, first day cover means suppose if government has issued a new stamp, okay, so the stamp collectors, those who are having this passion of collecting stamps, what they do, they just purchase that stamp and put it on an envelope and mail that envelope to themselves only to have a collection. So what happens when you mail that envelope to yourself? There is a stamp with date, like on which date that envelope has been sent. So by that you get the date of that when that ticket was sailed, when it was sale. So you get that sale date also of that ticket. Okay, so basically this is a kind of a passion of those people who has this hobby of collecting stamps, right? So inside that envelope you put nothing but a blank paper. You cannot write any letter to yourself. So it is a kind of a rule that you have to put a blank paper inside it, and then you have to mail that to yourself. Okay, so they are just blank inside and are not meant to be opened, and you are not supposed to open it ever in your life, right? So that was all about first day cover. So what he did, he was searching some first day covers. So he found something. That night, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there. So on that day, he found by surprise, one of his grandfather's old first day covers. Okay, but there it was. It was there, because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. That's what the address on the envelope said. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. The postmark showed that, yet I didn't remember it at all. The stamp was a 6-cent, dull brown, with the picture of President Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I took it out and opened it. So, what's happening here? He got a first cover which someone had mailed it to his grandfather at his home in Galesburg. Okay, that's what the address on the envelope said. Means उस envelope में Galesburg का address था. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. The postmark showed that. Okay, the stamp was of dated July 18, 1894. Okay, yet I didn't remember it at all. He said, I didn't remember it at all. I had never seen it before. The stamp was a 6-cent dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. This was on the stamp, the picture of President Garfield. Naturally, okay, then what he said that his grandfather had put it in his stamp collection, and the Charlie now discovered it. Charlie found that. The paper inside and a letter written in it. The letter read as. So he said that one thing strange about this first cover was there was a paper inside it, but it wasn't blank. Usually, generally, what is the rule for first covers? That you need to put a blank paper inside it. You are not supposed to write anything. But in this first cover, the paper wasn't blank. Okay, it had something written on it. So what was written on it? You can see here. Here is the address: 941 Willard Street, Galesburg, Illinois, July 18, 1894. Charlie. It is addressed to whom? To Charlie. I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now, down the street at Dally's, someone is playing a piano, and they are all out on the front porch singing, "Sing Nellie home," and I'm invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, believe me. How surprising. Okay. And the note is signed Sam. You get to know who has written this. The note is signed Sam. Means his psychiatrist friend. Whose psychiatrist friend? Charlie's psychiatrist friend has written this note for Charlie. Okay. This letter talked about how the writer wished his third level story was true until he actually started believing it to be. He had found the third level and had been there for 2 weeks. Who had found? Till here we do not know who is this. He describes the place he was at that time. Okay, he described that this place is very beautiful. Someone is playing piano and all that stuff. He asked Charlie and Louisa to never stop searching for the third level and come back. So whosoever is writing this note, though we get to know that it is signed Sam, but till here, if suppose we have not read this line, so whosoever is writing this note, that person is asking Charlie and Louisa not to stop their search looking for third level, and he is just giving the description of the place, Galesburg, Illinois. Okay. Now let's see. Now we get to know that it is signed by Sam. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out this I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. That ought to set him up in a nice little hay, feed, and grain business. He always said that's what he really wished he could do, and he certainly can't go back to his old business. Not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. His old business? Why? Sam was my psychiatrist. Okay, so the letter had been signed off as Sam. Charlie found out from the coin store that he used to visit that Sam had bought old currency worth $800. So, when he got this first cover, which is signed by Sam, he went to the coin store, to look for Sam, whether he has done any money exchange, currency exchange or not. And what he found that yes, Sam, he bought old currency worth $800, which was to be utilized in hay, feed and grain business. And Sam is doing grain business in Galesburg. That's what he is thinking, that he is doing grain business. Okay, hay, feed and grain business in Galesburg, which what he always wished to do. Maybe in his conversation with Charlie, he might have disclosed this thing, that he wanted to do the grain business. He could not go back to his old business, certainly not in Galesburg, Illinois. Why he could not go back to his old business? What was his old business, Sam's old business? Yes, he was a psychiatrist. But why he cannot do his psychiatrist business in 1894, Galesburg, Illinois? Because psychiatrists we require when there are so many mental problems, when we go through fear, anxiety, depression. That time we require, when there is no peace. Okay, that time we require a psychiatrist to treat ourselves. But if you see 1894, when there was no world war, people, they were having a very quiet, calm, peaceful life. They were enjoying nature. So at that time, I don't think that there was any requirement for this professionalist like psychiatrist. People, they were happy, they were satisfied. So there was no need of a psychiatrist at that point of time. That is why he said that he cannot do his old business in Galesburg, Illinois, and that's too in 1894. Okay. The story, now here our story ends, and it ends at a mysterious note where Charlie is wondering that Sam is a psychiatrist. So now this story, it's an open-ended story where we actually do not get to know what happened. We only know that Charlie, he kept on thinking about third level. One day he entered the third level also, though the other people, they could not believe this fact. They say that there are only 2 levels at Grand Central Station, but Charlie insists that no, there are 3. I have been to third level. And his friend says that you want to escape the harsh realities of present day life, and you want to escape. That's why you are looking for a way out. And in the last, he find a first cover in which was signed off as Sam, and he is inviting Charlie and Louisa to the third level, to the Galesburg, Illinois, and he's saying yes, kept on looking for the third level as I have reached here. So this is all about our first chapter. I hope explanation must be clear to all of you. If still there are any doubts or anything which you want to ask, you can ask me in your doubt clearance session. Okay.